Hello there, I'm Matthew with the Retinue of House Walker. And what I wanted to introduce today is our Writing Studio Hour stream. And what that is we'll be streaming on our YouTube channel for around an hour where we host a couple of different writing sprints. The concept is pretty simple. Over the course of an hour, host, two 20 to 25-minute sprints where you take that time and you dedicate it to writing just as many words in your manuscript draft as you can possibly get. And it's just a tool to help you get past writer's block, help you make progress on your draft. And sometimes when you do it in a group setting, it's just a means to help you actually sit down and get the words from your brain onto the keyboard. And it's called a late night writing sprint because I've got 3 kids at home, so it's my house won't be quiet enough to host a stream until late at night. So unfortunately, we're going to be looking at somewhere between so sometime between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Eastern time is really the only consistent time that my house is quiet enough to consider hosting a stream. Now, just for some background, how did we start our free to read library? And honestly, it came from we had a really disappointing experience at a Ren fair. We drove hours to go to one, and it just turned into it was a 3D printed vendor festival. Wasn't even really a Ren fair. We had been to ones previously that were great. There was crowd participation. They had running performances. They had, scheduled performances on stages. This one was really, it was just a flea market with corsets, and after driving hours hoping to recreate an amazing experience we've had at other ones, it was just super disappointing. But it made me sit down and go, you know what? If I were to do that, what would I do? And that's how the concept of our first novelette, Three Blade Will, came to be. Because if you read it and then look back at it, you can see that it was intended to be a performance piece. It was really more of this was my screenplay that turned into a short story, as opposed to this was written specifically to be a novelette. There's very clear beats and sections, and it was a screenplay that turned into a story as opposed to something that was written to be a short story. And my thought process behind that was, oh, okay, well, okay, if I were to be acting out something at a fair and I was building I say user experience, but an attendee experience, what could I do to flesh that out? And the concept was, well, if I acted out these mini scenes in different locations throughout the course of the day, it would be a storyline that participants could follow. And that's how Three Blade Will came to be. Now, we've already written other articles, and I've got a video on why we specifically have a free to read version of what we write, but that's how it all kind of came to be. But why stream at all? And a lot of that comes down to is, man, writing takes time. I would love to be a professional author and just crank out stories, and this is what I did all day, was just share this world, share these concepts, and share this stuff with everybody. But it takes time to get there. So even once release is made available on the website, the next one could still be a long ways off, weeks, months, however long it takes to outline and draft and go through revisions, edits. At some point, I got to give my story to beta readers, give them time to read it, get their feedback, usually revise and edit again, and then it comes to the formatting and front and back matter, covers, and how to create a PDF that looks like a book instead of a jumbled homework assignment. It I'm just not fast as I'm just not as fast at that as I would like to be. So streaming is kind of the public record of where I'm at in the writing process for whatever release I happen to be working on in that stream. You can go there, see what I'm doing, see where I'm at in the process, and it's somewhat of an open office concept, right? If you're working on your own writing projects, it's just a co-working space. Come join the sprints. We can see how many words we get done, and it'd be like the old-fashioned novel writing competitions that used to happen in November. Can you get 1,000 words done in an hour? Can you how long can you get in the next 15 minutes? Ready, go. So what happens during a writing studio hour stream? And honestly, it's called a studio hour because I anticipate it taking around an hour. And it's structured around a timed format with sprints. So we can begin with an opening introduction. And, at the very beginning, it lets me waste a few minutes for people who are going to join to kind of arrive and get settled in. But I can introduce the project, where I'm at, what I'm hoping to accomplish in the upcoming sprints. But when it comes time for the sprint itself, I'll set a timer. I can face it towards the camera, and a 20-25 minute block where it's quiet, or I'm probably mumbling and talking to myself, but it's a timed period to get as many words out as possible. Then, once the sprint clock runs out, take a break, check in, get a word count. How far did you get? Did you achieve what you were hoping for? Anyone who's actually following and sprinting along with us, we can talk in the chat. We can share how far we've gotten. We can cheer each other on. Take a break, reset yourself, then get ready for sprint number 2. And again, set the clock and get as many words on paper or typed out as you can get in that time period. And once that timer runs out, we do a final check-in, share the word counts, finalize what we accomplished, and maybe some speculation about where the current work is headed. So like, I got here. While doing that, I was thinking maybe instead of going in this direction, I actually want it to go in this direction. So we're gonna feel out and see what that looks like. But overall, the process itself should take about an hour, and really the total time will just depend on how much talking I do during the breaks and the check-ins. But how often do we plan on streaming studio sessions? And really, I probably at least once a month. I mean, I would love to say, oh yeah, I'm going to commit to weekly, but I don't know how realistic it'll be to stay to a fixed schedule like that. And the times will be later at night, probably starting somewhere 10, 11-ish on Eastern time. Probably honestly later in the week as well. I don't know what my schedule will be open for, so we're probably looking at more, Friday night streams as opposed to Monday night streams. And where will they be streamed? Well, this is on YouTube, so we'll be streaming on YouTube. Maybe someday I'll figure out enough technology to figure out how to stream on more than one platform at once, but right now it'll be streamed on our YouTube channel. Plus, at some point, I fully plan on every one of our free to read releases having a narrated version on our YouTube channel as well. So that might be something the studio hour turns into as well. There's the whole point of this is being able to see the process live as it's being done. Now, how can you support the project? And I've built this very specifically so you don't have to buy anything to support the project. Reading our stories, sharing them, watching, subscribing to our YouTube channel all help the project grow. And honestly, the best way to support us at this early stage is subscribing on our YouTube channel. That's our big push right now. Help us get more subscribers, help more people hear about what we're doing, and come watch me as I write more things for our free to read library. Right now, we've got Three Blade Will is published on our channel as our channel. It's on our website as a downloadable PDF. We have the first draft of the Almshouse Inquest is done. And right now, when we host the next writing sprint, I'll be working on number 3. But a lot of that work will be centering on our YouTube channel. Now, if you want to just hear about when we have announcements or finished written releases, we have a mailing list on Substack that you can join, and anytime that I have a finished deliverable going up on the website, we send out an email on our Substack. But the best way to support the Retinue right now is 1, enjoy our content. It's free for a reason. That's the main point of this. But subscribe on our YouTube channel, help us hit that 1,000 viewer mark. join our mailing list, follow on our socials, share our stuff with other people. So that free PDF link, if you know somebody else who might enjoy that story, share them the link too. And we're out in the community, so if you bump into us at a Ren fair, say hi. I'd lose my mind if somebody said, "Oh my God, you're the guy from that shitty YouTube channel." I'd be like, "Oh, I am. It's awful, isn't it?" If you see us, say hi. Because there's no point in developing a library of works to give away if there's nobody to give them to.